Hello and welcome. I am Vertilvius, and I'm bringing you a video on creating a new character in Elder Scrolls Online. This is meant to be more of a beginner's guide to help newer players get acclimated to the game and some things and some little tricks that I've found after playing this game for several years that you could use to make your experience much better. Like I said, there is quite a bit to this game, and newer players do get overwhelmed quite easily early on. So I'm just going to start a new character here and show some things that I do early on to make myself set up for my new characters and stuff. I am going to make a Wood Elf Stamsork. There's a bow build that is kind of going around the endgame PvE DPS stuff right now. It is a Orc, I believe, is what the really high DPS output is put in. But I want to make a Wood Elf anyway. I don't have a Wood Elf, so I'm going to make a Wood Elf. Let's see here. I want to make... Now, this is your alliances. Daggerfall Covenant, Eldmary Dominion, and Ebonheart Pact. These are your 3 PvP factions. They don't really mean anything if you don't plan on doing Cyrodiil PvP, but if you do, I would advise, if you have friends playing, find out what factions that they play on so that you can get into a faction that you want to play with. So, or if you have friends you want to play with. When you start the game, if you don't have the Adventurers pack, you will, if you pick the Daggerfall Covenant, you can only be a Breton, Orc, or a Redguard. If you are the Dominion, you can be a High Elf, Wood Elf, or Khajiit. For the Ebonheart Pact, you can pick an Argonian, Dark Elf, or Nord. But I myself, I have the Adventurers Pack, which means I can pick any race for any faction. I also have the Imperial Pack, which is extra as well. I believe it's 2,000 crowns for each pack. One of them might be 2,100 crowns, somewhere around there. So you're talking like 15, 20 bucks, I believe, somewhere around there. The Imperial, you can be N on any faction as well without the Adventurers pack. So, but without any, without those packs, you have to be specific to what race for which faction. But like I said, I'm going to make a Wood Elf. I'm making him on the Daggerfall Covenant, and these are your classes that you can pick. You have a Dragon Knight. Dragon Knights are really good for tanks. They're the best tanking class in the game for PvE endgame. That doesn't say that you can't make a Sorcerer tank or a Warden tank or a Templar tank. This is more geared towards like the endgame raiding scene. Dragon Knights are by far the best tanks. Wardens are probably second for tanking. And then Nightblades, Sorcerers, and Templars are your third tier. They just have a lot of issues. There's not a lot of stuff that can actually... that help them to tank. For DPS classes, you can, the best so far right now, or the way that the culture is now, is Nightblades. Nightblades are really good. Wardens are pretty decent. Sorcerers, a Magic Sorc is generally needed in a raid group for certain buffs that they provide people. But I do believe some of the more better raid groups are actually going to Sorcerer healers now, and they're not even using them as a DPS anymore. Then you have your healing class, which is Templars. Wardens make really good healers, and like I said, Sorcerers, endgame PvE optimized groups are running Sorcerer healers in most instances, I believe, these days. But I am going to make a bow stamina build. He's going to be a Sorcerer, a Stamsork. So let's get to I'll just kind of fly right through this creation thing here. I'm just kind of go through it. This is where you can make your body type, your height, obviously. This is the color of your skin. Let's just kind of do body markings. You have all kinds of body markings you can just fly right through. I kind of like this one here for a little Wood Elf. Hip size. As you can see, there's a lot of customization in this game, and you can sit here probably for an hour as a new player and just kind of tinker around with this stuff. I'm just kind of trying to fly right through this a little bit. I been making characters for so long on this game that I pretty much know what all the stuff is that I like, so I can just kind of fly right through it. But just take your time, go through it a little bit, and you can customize your guy very, very in depth if you want to. What's that one? Yeah, I don't like that one. It sounds like a wood elf. Yeah, he kind of sounds like a wood elf. Okay, let's just do a random hairstyle here. Yeah, as you can see, there is a lot of hairstyles. There's a lot to do. I kind of like that one for a wood elf. What's this one? Let's see. That one's pretty wood elfish too, I might say. I think I'll go with the braid one though. Yeah, that looks pretty. I'll just go with that. That's pretty good for a wood elf. Let's make him with red hair. Orangish hair? Yeah, sure, why not? Let's give him a little bit of age here. Adornment. As you can see, there's all kinds of stuff you can do. Yeah, that looks pretty creepy. Kind of want to be a little creeper. So let's head markings. You got all kinds of war paint and scars and stuff that you can do with this. That one's pretty creepy looking, right? Kind of like that one now. Yeah, let's go with that. Cheekbone, jaw size. That stuff I really don't care about. It's your eye color. Orangish. I was hoping for like red eyes, but I don't think you can get red eyes. That's kind of creepy. That's really creepy. Kind of like the orange. Let's just go orange eyes. Okay, so that was... I thought I had one of these voices that I liked a little better. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Okay. You name your character. And then you create your character. I actually have not done the tutorial for Somerset. I kind of just skipped right over it. So I think I'm actually going to play it and give you an idea of what to expect when you get in there. And I'll show you some tricks on how to unlock your armors and your weapons and stuff like that. So, but you really need to, if you plan on doing endgame PvE, really do some research on what to expect.
I'll help you get out of this place. You aren't frozen. You just think you are.
All right, I'm not frozen. I just think I am.
You just need to remember how.
I got a notification. Okay, just tell me about the guilds. Okay, so the first thing I usually do when I get in here, go right to third person. If you use your mouse wheel all the way out, just scroll it down. It'll bring you all the way out. And then some settings. This is your video settings stuff for better latency and stuff like that. These just work for my computer. Your computer may be better than mine. You may be able to do something a little different. That's just what I go with. Gameplay, I believe foot inverse kinetics is turned off when you first start. I like it on. It kind of just makes your character, like when he's on uneven ground, it doesn't make him kind of look like he's just real rigid. Kind of makes him go with the slope. So I turn that on just for, it makes the game look a little better. Friendly colors will be turned off when you first start, and what those are the AoEs that put up on the ground. You can change all kinds of colors, so when an enemy drops like an AoE on the ground, it'll pop up on the ground, and you'll see it once I start playing and stuff. Pink I stay out of, green I stay in. Is pretty much green go, pink bad. So that's just easy for me. I mean, you can use red, you can use any other color, whatever you find is to be best. I also turn off double tap to dodge. Now I'm a controller player. I'm an ex console player. I played on PS4 for a couple of years when this game got released. Then I bought an Xbox One X and I transferred to Xbox. And I played there for about 5 or 6 months, and then I just went to PC. I started playing on PC on a kind of a crappy computer, and then I just went and bought one eventually, and this is what I have now. Ground target range lock, that's not really all that important. It basically won't let you put your icon, your AoE icon, past the range that it has. Prevent attacking innocents. I do advise you to turn this on initially because you can easily accrue a nasty bounty, and since you're new, you don't have a lot of money, it's going to be a pain in the rear end to pay those bounties off. So I do advise turning prevent attacking innocents on. I like to leave it off just in case. Just in case I have to do a quest or something that requires me to kill a innocent or something. Quick cast ground abilities. This one is pretty important. You always want this on. This is so when you use like Endless Hail, which is an AoE, you don't have to click the button twice in order to drop it. You just hit the button once right where your icon is, and it will drop it right there. I do use a gamepad or an Xbox One controller, so my gamepad is set to on. If you're not using that, obviously that will be off. Consolidate area loot is pretty handy. I do turn that on. I also turn on auto loot as well. That way when you just loot dead bodies, it just picks up everything and then you can sort through it later on. Unfortunately with that, you can fill up your inventory pretty quickly, so you have to do a little bit more inventory management. I just find that going to the merchant or whatever and selling your stuff early on is not that hard, and I just do it all the time. Tutorials, as a new player, you probably want to leave that on, but for me, I'm just going to turn that off just because I know a lot of the stuff that they're going to be telling me anyway. Under the camera, I leave this stuff off. I don't really change anything here. Interface, I do changes. I actually prefer user ID. That shows my username instead of my character names. I also turn Quest Tracker off because I use a add-on called Disable Controller UI, which allows me to play with the controller but use the interface of the mouse and keyboard. So I turn that off because it kind of glitches out the quest tracker and stuff when it's on with that add-on. So I turn that off. Compass givers, I leave all that stuff on. Chat bubbles off. Now I do turn on latency and frame rate, and I generally put it up in the top left corner here. This is your FPS, and this is your latency right here. I always turn that on. Nameplates, I don't really do anything with that. Yeah, I leave that alone. Social, the text size, I like it set at 18. That's just how big I like it. You can set it to whatever you want. And profanity filter, I turn that off as well because I don't care if people have potty mouths. To be honest with you, I'm probably more potty mouth than anybody, so I'd leave that off. Leaderboard notifications. If you're in a guild that's like doing VMA or trials and stuff like that, you'll get a lot of notifications that will pop up. So I always turn that off initially. And if you want to get more involved with your guild and stuff like that, you can always turn that on later. Auto decline duels, I leave that off. You don't usually get invited to duels too often. If you go to an area where they are dueling, then you'll see certain areas where the duelists are. You'll get invited to a duel or whatever here and there, but it's not that annoying, so I just leave it off anyway. The AVA announcements is the same as the leaderboard notifications. I don't show those, but this is for Cyrodiil. So if you're in a campaign where they pick up like a scroll or they just do something random in the Cyrodiil, you'll get these pop-ups on there, and they do get quite annoying, so you probably do want to turn that off as well. As a new player, you don't have to worry about that till level 10 until you get to that point, but I just turn it off anyways. For combat, this one I change a lot too. I always show my ability bar. I always show my attributes bar. My resource number, I like number and percent. active combat tips, I put don't show because I use raid notifier. So if I'm in a trial, it will tell me with the raid notifier. This you might want to leave on early on just so you get a feel for the game, and it'll tell you some stuff. And I always turn my ultimate number on as well. These as well for the combat text. I always leave on outgoing damage and outgoing damage over time. So I know what enemy I'm attacking and what damage I am doing on it. And you can kind of mess around with these. I believe that these are all turned on. These are just the two that I like. But if you're a healer and you want to know what your outgoing healing is and heal over time, and you've got a pet build or whatever, I mean, this is more preference than anything, and that's just the way that I like to set it up. And buffs and debuffs is the same. I use Srendar's add-on, which is a raid kind of buff tracker and stuff like that. So I don't really need these to be put on. I know some people use like target debuffs and stuff, and it'll line up along here. And it helps them track that stuff. I don't like a whole lot of clutter on my screen, so I leave that off as well. Now for the add-ons, these are a list of your add-ons. You won't have anything here, and in order to get add-ons in this game, Minion is probably your best bet. That's what I use. I find it pretty easy. All you have to do is Google Minion add-on, I believe, and it should be like the first one that you get right away. So some add-ons that I would advise to get pretty early on, lore books. If you just, when you get Minion, just type in search. It'll be the second tab under Minion. Just type in lore books and sky shards. Those two are really, really nice to have early on. Lore books, particularly if you're a Magicka character, because that's how you level up the Mages Guild in this game, is by finding lore books. So that's really nice to know. Another early one, like I said, I use controller, so all you council plebes that are coming over to PC and you want to use a controller still, advanced disable controller UI is very nice as well. Awesome Guild Store is a pretty good one to have. You don't necessarily need it early on, but it does make the Guild Trader system a little easier to deal with. Dolby's, you don't really need those. I'm going to turn off some of these too. Let's see here. I know dressing room is nice, but that's kind of more advanced stuff, so I wouldn't even worry about dressing room early on. Hodor's is the same thing. Hodor is an ultimate tracker for raids. Srendar is pretty nice. It's kind of complicated to set up, so you may want to kind of skip that one early on as well. I might do actually a video just on Srendar as a beginner's guide on how to use it and stuff, because it does get kind of complicated early on, especially if you've never dealt with these add-ons and stuff like that. So this looks like the add-on setup, but that I'm going to use for this character just to start out with. Like I said, lore books and sky shards are the two you definitely want. All you council plebes that want to use controller, advanced controller UI, advanced disable controller UI is really nice as well. So without that further ado, let's reload our UI so that our add-ons are set. Okay, now we start out, we don't have any weapons.
Now remember your strength, your power. Take a weapon, feel the weight in your hand.
And it looks like we're gonna have to... Okay, this is your inventory system. You control this by hitting I. Your weapons are here. Apparel and jewelry are the ones you're going to need to know right away. Consumables are like food, potions, stuff like that. Materials is where you'll have like leather and iron and stuff like that. It'll be put in there. Furnishings is obviously housing furnishings. Miscellaneous will be random stuff. Like if you do crafting writs, you'll get these things that bring you to a node and you can harvest more materials. They'll be listed in there. Quest objects, you don't really have to really deal with that too much. Sometimes you have to go in there and you might have to put an outfit on or something like that for the quest. And junk is just obviously junk. In Elder Scrolls Online, you have 7 body pieces. You have a head, shoulders, hands, legs, feet, waist, and chest. And then you have 3 jewelry pieces, a neck and 2 rings. And you can have a combination of several different weapon loadouts. You can use fire staves or destruction staves. You can have restoration staves. You can do a great sword. I have a 2-handed great sword now. You can do sword and board. You can do dual wield, like 2 daggers or an axe and a dagger. And that's where you equip your weapons, is in this little box right here. Once you hit the level 15, you will get weapon swapping, where you'll be able to put 2 weapons. So you can do either 2 great swords, or a dual wield and a great sword, or a bow and a great sword, and vice versa. But this is where you will equip everything. I thought I turned off the... early on, I do advise looting everything. Looting will get you some gold. You'll find in these like little containers here, you'll find little things that'll show you how to make stuff, or food items, recipes, excuse me. So I would advise looting everything here early on, and I'm not sure why I still have... Did I not turn off? Yeah, I got tutorials turned off. I'm not sure why that's on there, why I'm getting all the camera perspective. Maybe it's just the initial, because like I said, I haven't done this. The one I did was on
You've been imprisoned in this mind trap
in Vardenfell, so...
Its magic is powerful, but you're stronger than you know. It may appear beautiful, but it's an illusion. A trap designed to control you. Katora won't tolerate your resistance much longer.
There is no escape. I will break you in time. Watch as I turn your own memories against you.
Really? Gonna turn my memories against me, eh?
Memories can kill you.
Okay. Oh.
Another one. Defend yourself and strike back.
Okay, so you have...
User, interrupt the spell and retaliate. Well done. With every memory that returns, your resistance grows stronger. Now follow me.
As you can see in those that little tutorial there, you have 2 different types of initial attacks. One is a light attack, which is just tapping the left mouse trigger, or if you're using controller, to be your right trigger. And then you have a heavy attack. Heavy attacks, when you use a heavy attack, you will get resources back. So if you run out of stamina or run out of magicka, if you heavy attack, you get that resource back, whatever resource is higher. Or actually, it's staves give you back magicka, and melee weapons and bows give you back stamina. Okay, this is your class screen, or your character screen, as far as skills and stuff is concerned. To get to this, you hit the K on the key on your keyboard, and that'll bring you into the skills section of this. As a class, I'm a sorcerer, so I have 3 class. How can I say this? You have 3 class groupings, I guess you can say. You have Dark Magic, Daedric Summoning, and Storm Calling. In order to level up this class, you have to have an ability on your bar. So I'm going to do the first one and put Crystal Shards on my bar, which is down here, and you can move it to whichever button you want. I'm just going to leave it here initially. And your skill points will be listed here. And now that I have a skill here, when I kill stuff, I'll get XP towards this Daedric Magic. The next one I advise, you're going to get 3 skill points when you come through this beginner's tutorial thing here. So what you're going to do is you want to put 1 of each on your bar out of all those skills that you're going to get. You also have a weapon one, and let's see, they didn't give me the staff, did they? No. Okay. So anyways, you'll have a list that you have two-handed, you'll have sword and board, you'll have resto, you'll have destruction staff, you'll have bow, and dual wield are the types of weapons that you can equip. You don't have the, can I get, let's see, let's go to, let's see, I've just got some armor, so let's see if I can't get, in order to pop up for your armor skills, you need to equip 5 pieces of, okay, there we go, skill line. See how heavy, is it 5 now? Do I have 5? 1, 2, 3, maybe it's 3. Maybe they changed it. I thought you had to have 5 equipped in order to get it, but I guess they changed it to 3 maybe. But now, when I go to my skills, I have this armor skill line here, and now I've got the heavy armor skill set under here because I've got heavy armor on. And then you can do it with light, and you can do it with medium as well. So homespawn, let's see, can I get the medium on there? I cannot. So we will just put this stuff on initially. And I don't have another weapon, do I? No. Okay. I do have bracers. Alright. There we go. And that's the advantage of just picking everything up early on. You're just going to use junk weapons and junk armor until you like get into the game, get into the world, and you can join a guild. And if you go into the zone chats and stuff, the people are very, very nice in this game for the most part. And if you'd go in there and say, "Hey, I'm a new player looking for a guild to help me out with learning the game and stuff," you'll get multiple guild offers. I think when I came over to PC, I put that in zone chat, and within a couple of minutes, I was invited to like 3 guilds. So people are really, really nice in this game, and for the most part, and they will help you out quite considerably. Okay, so now I got an iron sword, so I'm going to get the sword and board line unlocked. Speaking of recipes, I did get these recipe, and I got a diagram. You use those, and now you can make those. So now I got sword and board equipped, and in order to get sword and board equipped, you just start attacking stuff with that particular weapon, and you should get the skill line. Okay. So I just got that. So now, as you can see, under weapons, I have one-handed shield there now. And because I learned those crafting blueprints and stuff, I was able to unlock the crafting skill line. And crafting, I'll probably have to do another whole video on by itself because crafting can be a little lengthy in its own regard. So, but as you see, you got blacksmithing, provisioning, woodworking. There's jewelry crafting. There is also clothing, provisioning. Let's see here, alchemy, and enchanting. There's 7 of them total for the crafting stuff. There, as you can see, I interrupted that guy. Okay, there's that pink AoE I was telling you about. When I was showing you how to set up your game, that pink is the ground AoEs that I was talking about. That's kind of like your stay out of that stupid kind of thing. Oh, there's a resto staff. I'll take that. As soon as I kill these spiders here. Fortunately, I got magic skills right now. Alright, restoration staff. We'll put a resto on just to get that unlocked. Let's see, let's go attack these things here. Also, I advise with this game, the way combat works, it's obviously not tab target, as you can see. It is action combat, and you have skills, and you have light attacks. So the way the game works is you can shoot a light attack and then a skill, light attack then skill, light attack then skill. There's a global cooldown on the light attacks, and there's a cooldown on your skills. So I believe it's a half second. They changed it back in Dark Brotherhood, I believe. I think it used to be 0.25 seconds, and then they changed it to 0.5 seconds. I could be wrong on that, but how it works is you can only use a skill every 1 second, or every half second, excuse me, and you can only use a light attack every half second. So in order to maximize your DPS, you do light attack skill, light attack skill, light attack skill, and it's called weaving. And that will maximize your DPS. So I advise you early on to get used to that light attack skill. Unfortunately, I have a skill right now on my bar that only that has a cast time, so it's not, you can't really see how effective it really is. All right, so now we got this big bug. Light attack skill, light attack skill, light attack skill. There's those AoEs I was telling you about. Stay out of those. Light attack skill. See, I'm out of magicka, so I have to start heavy attacking. When I heavy attack, I get my magicka back. Light attack skill, and he's dead.
Destroy the pearl and wake up.
All right. So there isn't too much to that tutorial. Actually, I've never done that one. I did the Vardenfell one, and I've done obviously the vanilla one.
Now, you did well. It gladdens my heart to see you awake and free, my friend. You're the first to respond to my help and escape from that entity's grasp.
All right, thank you for helping me.
I am Oriandra, and I wear the cloak of the Psijic Order. I came to Somerset at the behest of our Right Master when I sensed a dark and powerful mind magic emanating from this area. When I noticed your predicament, I knew I had to intercede.
Well, that was very nice of you.
Take a moment to rest, but once you've shaken off any residual effects of the spell, I might require your assistance. And take this. I assume it belongs to you. It was near your unconscious body when I found you.
Well, thank you.
I must return to the Eldbur ruins to the north and aid the others caught in Katora's mind trap. If you find yourself in the area, you might be able to assist me. Stay safe, and remember, you have a friend in the Psijic Order.
Okay.
The Psijic Order is an ancient society of mages, more akin to a monastic order than to the upstart Mages Guild, for example. We once served as advisors to the rulers of Tamriel, before we departed the world to pursue other interests. It means just that. We took our island of Artaeum and sent it someplace else to better promote meditative study and contemplation. We maintain an interest in Tamriel, though, hence my appearance here during your time of need. I haven't isolated the source of the mind magic, except that the malevolent entity calls itself Katora. It imprisoned you in the mind trap in order to control you, but to what purpose I'm not sure.
Who or what is
I
Katora?
have no idea. Whoever or whatever Katora is, it wields powerful mind magic, much more powerful than anything I've ever encountered before. The mind trap is an insidious spell that has ensorcelled a number of victims. I'm still watching over them. You weren't the only newcomer to wander into this mind trap. Even a number of high elves have succumbed to the dark entity's power. With my help, though, you were the first to break free. That gives me hope that I can eventually save the others.
If it was all in my mind, how come I still have the items I found there?
You noticed that, did you? Very observant. The mind trap created replicas of items you already possessed. You needed them, so they became real inside the illusion. And of course, you'd still have them in the waking world. They are real, after all.
Okay. Very nice. Alright, leveled up again. So, we got a skill, we got an attribute point, and they gave us some crown fortifying meal. And this just shows you your future rewards, obviously. One for level 4, one for level 5. Let's see here. We will continue to put in stamina. Oh, another thing as well. When you're creating your character, if you're going to be a damage dealer, you can be a magicka damage dealer or you can be a stamina damage dealer. I highly advise splitting between magicka and stamina. As a damage dealer, the way the game works is a portion or the amount of your stamina gets put towards weapon damage. I believe the ratio is 10 stamina equals 1 weapon damage, or 10 magicka equals 1 spell damage. So essentially I have 1489 weapon damage plus the 151. So essentially I have 3k weapon damage right now. If you split between magicka and stamina, you're severely gimping yourself on your damage. So when you create your character, try to pigeonhole it into either being a stamina DPS as a DPS. Excuse me, I don't know if I said that already, or try to make it either a stamina DPS or a magicka DPS. Being a combo or a hybrid build, I guess you could say, in some circumstances works in PvP, but when it comes to PvE and endgame rating and stuff, that is not going to work. Let's just say in the least bit. Tanks and healers, you have a little bit more leniency on where you want to put your attribute points. As a tank, most of the time you put most of yours into health. As a healer, I believe most of it goes into magicka, but you also can put quite a bit into health as well. Because obviously, as a healer, you just don't want to die. So the more health makes it easier for you to survive. So we will accept that. We will take our skill point, and I will put it on my other class. I've actually got 2 skill points, so let's put that one there. And then storm calling. These ones you do want early on. That way you're leveling up your class stuff early on. You automatically level up with whatever weapon you have equipped will automatically get XP towards that skill line, and same goes for armor. So if you have like 1 piece of heavy armor and 5 pieces of light, you'll get more XP towards light armor, but you'll also get some towards heavy armor as well. Okay, so that's all set. Let's see what we got for inventory here. I actually want to eat that crown fortifying meal. They actually gave me a bow, and a bow, I would really want to do bow build with this guy, so I am actually going to equip this bow that they just gave me. And training is really good, a good trait. And I'll explain, I think I'm going to do a separate video on weapon traits and armor traits and how they work. And for the most part, as a total beginner, you really don't need to know how to do that stuff just yet. So I think I'll just skip that portion of it. Let's see here. What else do we have? I can equip that necklace. What does that give me? That gives me 858 more health. And that's about it. Okay. Once again, loot everything you can. All these little urns and stuff like that, because they give you furniture stuff and things like that. Bags, backpacks, always loot. Stay away from sacks. Yeah, stay away from sacks that give you food and stuff like that, because that's just going to clutter up your inventory and it's not going to be very helpful. Okay. As you can see, this guy has this like little diamond over his head right now. This is a quest marker. The quest marker like this indicates a main quest, or a quest that gives you more XP and can give you skill points with doing certain ones of them. If you see, I mean, I've probably come along it. I'm not actually going to go to this guy yet, because I'm going to show you something that I like to do early on.
Are those creatures newcomers? They're hideous.
Raj enjoys a good fight as much as the next guy, but these are horrible creatures.
Razandar is pretty funny. He's a cool character.
Good to see you. Raz has a proposal if you have the time.
I might actually pick this quest up real
Have you
quick.
ever seen such creatures? Raz has not.
I'm actually just going to, because I've already done all these quests, so I'm not going to be a spoiler on them. I'm just going to accept them, and then you can, oh, I guess I didn't grab it.
Shimmering, sir. As a matter of nothing at we need to, while you ask.
Okay. That should be good. Okay. I'll let you do your own quest. I'm not going to spoil it for you. And I am going to start doing a couple of things, and I advise this too. Get to this little icon here on your little mini map up top here, or on your compass. This shows you, or this is the transport system in Elder Scrolls Online. These little things, and they actually look like this in the world. This way shrine here. Now, as a Daggerfall Covenant. Actually, I'll just go to the map first. Okay, so we were in Somerset, so we're over here. Daggerfall Covenant is up here. The Eldmary Dominion is over here. And Ebonheart Pact is over here. These are the starter zones, or the zones for those factions. And like I said, as a Ebonheart Pact character, you can go to Glenembra and Rivenspire or Oridon. You can go to any of these as long as you travel to somebody that has it, or if you have the Way Shrine opened up there. You're just only available at these starter zones initially. You have to actually come and discover. Like, see, there's no Way Shrine here. So in order for me to get to a Way Shrine, I either have to continue through the quest line to get to that, or I have to travel to somebody either in a group that I can group up with, or in one of my guilds. For me, because I'm Daggerfall, I'm actually going to go to the Daggerfall Way Shrine, and I'm going to go and pick up the Mages Guild quest line, or the Mages Guild skill set, the Fighters Guild skill set, and the Undaunted skill sets. These you want to pick up early because you want to start leveling them up as soon as you possibly can.
You are the one I seek.
And as you can see, this woman has a different icon over her head. These are side quests generally. This one is actually for the main quest line, which I'm not sure why she only has this quest marker over her head. So you want to actually pick this hooded figure quest up, because that's how you start the main quest line in the game, not the factions quest line. Okay. So when you get to the town, you're going to go into one of the inns. I believe there is 2 inns, I believe, in each faction starter zone, and what you want to do is you want to find Mighty Mordra here, and she is the Undaunted, the Undaunted woman. So you want to come in and pick, like, come in and pick that up. See, now I've got the Undaunted skill line, and I can start leveling that up. This one in particular, you really want to get as soon as you possibly can, because in order to level this up, you have to kill monsters, or complete dungeons, or trials, I believe, give it to you as well. Actually, I don't think killing monsters does. It may level up if you... No, actually, I don't think. I think it is just doing dungeons and stuff like that. But nevertheless, you still want to pick that up. And Fighters Guild is right here. They have this little icon on their door. And actually, if you get confused, this is the town. They have little icons, like here's the Mages Guild. That's the Fighters Guild one. This is an inn. And as you can see, these little lore books that I was telling you about, you want to pick them up as a Magicka character, because you're going to have to level up that skill line eventually anyway. And here's your Sky Shards. And what Sky Shards are, if you collect 3 of these Sky Shards, it gives you a skill point. So you want to pick up as many of these as you possibly can as well. Bank. This is the bank. This is where you can deposit stuff into the bank. These are your guild traders. These are traders that are run by humans that post stuff on them. In order to sell off these guild traders, you have to be a part of their guild, and certain guilds have certain stipulations as well in order to sell in their in their guild, or in their guild trader, excuse me. Okay. These books, if you get books, and let's see if I get a bookcase, and bookcases, I advise try to hit up all of those as much as you possibly can.
It's been so long
because they give you free levels in certain skill lines. So here is your Fighters Guild guy. I will skip through the
and let me welcome you as
stuff,
an
but
associate of the Fighters Guild.
I advise listening to the quests. The quests are very, very cool. A lot of them are very, very fun, and they are well done. So if you're not in a hurry and you want to just enjoy the game, I highly advise just doing the quests and listening to them and stuff, because they're pretty in depth. They put a lot of time and they put a lot of effort into actually the quests and stuff. So
we have need of you. Will you? As we, I know you. A power. They are the 10. Yes.
and I just picked up the Fighters Guild quest line. And I just got clothing out of getting that bookshelf. I just got a skill point in clothing, and it actually opened up my clothing skill line. Thought it did. Did it not open it up? I could have sworn it just said skill line. Okay, that was weird. It should have. Okay, so now that we got the Fighters Guild all locked up, you see they have certain. These are your. Oh, speaking of that, let's go over what these skills thing mean. This is your ultimate. This is like your. This is a powerful skill that you can only use every so often when you get enough accrued, and that slotted in this slot right here. These are your skills that you can pick, like I showed you out of the class ones here. Like you got an ultimate, and then there's 5 skills in each line. If you notice that, ultimate, 5 skills. The only one that doesn't have ultimates is the armor abilities. The armors don't have ultimate abilities, but they do have skill point. Okay, they have 1 skill point. That's right, there's 1 skill. Excuse me. God, it's been so long since I've used any of these armor abilities. You have 1 skill and then a bunch of passives. So, on most lines, like your weapons, your class abilities, your world abilities, your guild abilities, for the most part, you'll have 1 ultimate ability, and then you'll have 4 or 5 skill points. I believe it's 5 in the class. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's 5 in the class, and then there's 1 ultimate ability. And then you have your passive abilities. These are abilities that just you get while just having them skill points put into them. So in this one, it reduces the magicka and stamina cost of your abilities by 3%. When you get to, I've got to be rank 8 in this skill line in order to get to that. But once I do, I can put a skill point into there, and it will get that passive ability. So let's go over and pick up the Mages Guild skill line as well. And here's the Mages Guild. You can see the icon on the door there.
The lattice clockwise. Oh, no, that would cause an enormous explosion.
You're going to talk to Nemark.
Welcome to the Mages Guild. Always we're book hunters of a sort. We're neutral.
I'm ready to join the Mages Guild. See, and then you get the skill line there. Like I said, pick up all books that you can. Hit these bookcases up.
If you came for crafting,
okay, see, I
can assist you.
Okay, see that bookcase I just got just gave me woodworking. And I got blacksmithing out of it, so it actually probably leveled up all my crafting stuff. 1.
Finally! I was beginning to think you'd never show up here.
Okay, so now we have the Mages Guild. And because of that, I have the medium armor line lined up now, and you have your your active ability for the armor, and then you have your passives. And I also picked up the Mages Guild now, which gives me an ultimate and 4 skills and 5 passive as well. There's my clothing line I picked up as well. I've got the one hand, destruction, resto. So the only one I need is the dual wield, which I can actually do that now. I can actually equip 2 swords. And if when I attack something with 2 swords, it'll give it to me. But I still want to do my bow because I don't think I got the bow unlocked yet either. So we'll keep the bow on. Do I have it? See, I need a belt. I don't have a girdle or anything, do I? Okay. Nope, I do not. Alright, so I like to do these right away and get these out of the way because this is free XP and it's pretty easy stuff.
Crafting certification? They're daily requests for crafted goods, but they're only available to certified crafters. I can train and certify blacksmiths. Excellent. Let me know
I'm
if
going
you
to do
have
the woodworking one first.
I want to know. Absolutely. Bring the rough
If you don't have the maple yet, it'll send you to an area to go pick up the maple, and it will. See, here's the main quest line right there. See how the dog has the main quest on it? You talk to him, and you'll have to follow him to go do it. But I'm going to do these first, real quick. And obviously you got your carpenter. This is your woodworking station. I don't know if you can see that on the map or not. Okay, yeah, this little icon right here, it shows you the woodworking station, the carpenter, the alchemy station, general goods merchant, and an alchemist. So within this area, roughly around this icon, you will find those merchants. Whereas you come up here to the little forge looking thing here, you got a kind of the fire with the anvil. You'll have a blacksmithing station, a clothing station, an enchanting table, a clothier, and an enchanter, and a pack merchant as well. And I'll show you the pack merchant too when we get there. And as you can see on the map, I have the follow the dog. That's the quest there. But we are doing our crafting, and they want me to craft a bow. And there's the bow. This is your material. This is the style. Every character that you start out on, depending on what race he has, will know a certain style. So I'm a wood elf, so I know the style, wood elf style. And as you can see, you got your weapons, and then this says apparel, but it's a shield. I don't know why they just don't put shield there, but it's a shield, not an apparel, really. So I need to create a bow. So I created my bow, and I need to take it, actually get your woodworking. You need to talk to Milanith to turn the bow in.
Good bow. Excellent. Now we can talk about your regain. It's a fancy way.
All right. So now you got to deconstruct it. And you have your tabs here. This is refine your materials, which these are rough materials, and it creates the material like sanded maple. And this is your deconstruction tab, and I need to deconstruct this maple bow, and that completes the part of the quest. So now I need to talk to Milanith.
Let me know if you have some time.
Now I'm going to do the blacksmithing one, and it's the same thing. And I got, let's see here, I could use some guards. Okay, so now we go up to the crafting station up here. What level am I, actually? Let's see, I am level 4. Okay. At level 10, you will receive a free mount. And once I get to level 10, I will show you that. Trying to keep it consistent to what you would have to be doing. So let's see here. We need to create a dagger, so you go to the creation tab. And there's the dagger, a wood elf dagger. And as the woodworking as well, if you don't have that material, they'll send you to a place to go get it outside the city. And the same thing as over there, we need to deconstruct that dagger. So go to your deconstruction tab, the iron dagger that you just did, and then talk to Milanith.
You certainly know your. Of course, there's only if you show. Of course.
Okay, now I got to go do the clothing one, and the clothing one is right here. That's your clothing table, and I need to create homespun gloves. So create those. Same thing, talk to her again.
Craft a pair of... Wonderful.
Now I need to deconstruct them. Deconstruction tab. There's those homespun guards. Now the reason I've got so much stuff is because I've actually got a bank full of stuff. For my characters, you won't have that. Okay, so now we are done with those. With her at least. So now we need to go to the Mages Guild. And we will pick up... And we will pick up the other 3 sets.
Do you know how long I've been looking?
That's another main quest. That's if you have Rothgar or if you have an ESO Plus member, Stuga will show up and she'll be asking you to help her out, and that'll send you to Rothgar. That's just another main quest line. There's multiple main quests. In the DLCs, there's the DLC quests, main quests, and then you have the faction main quests, and then you have the overall games main quests. So if you see those diamonds, try to do as many of those as you possibly can.
There is much more. A provisioner.
Oh, so I'm going to start with the provisioning one.
Provision. Yeah.
He wants me to make some roast pig. I don't have the recipe, but that's okay because he gives you the recipe in this trunk here.
That's just in line with the third law of
So you go to your consumables, you eat your or use your roast pig recipe, then you talk back or you go back and talk to him. And now he wants you to go make the roast pig. So you're going to go out and you're going to go to an inn, which is over here. You can see that mug right there on the door. That labels the inn. And actually you can see the little moon with the stars there on the left as well. That indicates the inn as well. And go to our fire. It's a cooking fire. You use it. And it's kind of like the crafting. You have 3 tabs here. You got your food, your drinks, and your furnishings. Since roast pig is a food, obviously, we are going to craft that. And then we will give it to Danelle. And then we're going to do alchemy next, because that's closest. I'm going to craft a sip of health. And you can look up the recipes for the alchemy in this because you're not going to know what it is right away. I know that butterfly wings and blue antiloma, I believe it is, makes a sip of health. So, but you can look this up on the internet. So you're going to take some natural water, and how alchemy works is you have your solvents. And you have your poisons. These make poisons, and actually I'll just do it this way. These are all solvents. These make potions, your waters do, and then your, bloods, I guess you can say. I'm not sure what exactly they are, is how you make poisons. The ichor is a poison, for example. So you take and you select your solvent, and then you can start with 2 ingredients, and you won't have this list of ingredients. Now, Danelle will tell you a spot to go get the ingredient at when you're doing these crafting things. You don't have to have them already. I know that blue antiloma and butterfly wing make a sip of health already, so I'm going to make my sip of health. I believe you can use Columbine, and there's several other ones as well. Okay, so then we have the last one here. Oh, wrong one. It's over here. Okay, and this is your enchanting and jewelry crafting here. This is your enchanting table, and this is to enhance your weapons and armor and jewelry. So I need to make a health glyph, So a Jora is your potency, and this dictates the level of what the enchantment is going to be. As you can see, there's a ton of them. I just know Jora is the one that I need to use. Essence are the type of enchantment, so I need to make a health one, which Oko is a health enchantment. And then the aspect is the powerfulness. So you have everything from white all the way up to gold. The white ones are basic. The blue ones are your green, excuse me, is the second level. Blue is the third, and then gold is the fourth level. And that goes for all, even weapons and armor as well, and jewelry. So I will make my white health enchantment, and I will give it to Danelle. Or he just needs to see it, I guess. So that is that for the crafting. And as you can see, I gained, I think, 2 levels just by doing those. Let's claim that. And do I have my... I do not have my bow unlocked yet, unfortunately. I'm going to save these skill points for right now, because I want to get as many many things on my bar as possible. I'd like to get a bow ability on my bar, so I am actually going to wait and use those skill points afterwards. I'm going to go to the bank and show you how the bank works a little bit. Actually, as you can see, let's do inventory as overall. My inventory space is 21 out of 60 spaces. I have 60 spaces available to me. And actually, we will take those. Use those up. And I can equip these rings now, because they give you free jewelry. And actually, if you wanted to put this trifling glyph of health on here, you go to enchant. And I have a health glyph, so we will do that. And then, do I have legs somewhere? Where's my legs? Can't enchant those. I do have... Where is my... I thought I had guards. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to put that other enchantment, the trifling glyph of health I just made, on that as well.
I think it wants me to follow it.
The dog probably wants a handout, like half the peasants in the city.
Okay, so inventory. As you can see, 17 out of 60. I can have up to 60 items on this character. This is a bag merchant right here, and it is in every starter area, and it is located, as you can see here, it says pack merchant. The little bag at the bottom there, it looks like a little sack. God, I can't even pronounce that. Neurisipa is the pack merchant. So you're going to go around and find her. There is Neurisipa, and you talk to her.
This one has the bag for you.
And you can upgrade it for 400 gold. Now, I advise you not to do this until after, I think it's level 6. Level 6, you actually get a free 10 bag space just as your reward. So don't do that until after level 6. It may even be 7. And once you do that, then you can upgrade it, because you basically get a free upgrade. And you might as well take it free. Save 400 gold. Okay, this is Angier Stower. This is our banker in Daggerfall. And as you can see, you have the bank tab, the guild bank, the guild store. Now, you may not have these tabs early on unless you actually have guilds. I'm not sure if they might be blacked out as well. You might not just be able to use them. But this is your bank. As you can see, I have 480 in here. I do believe you only start with maybe 100, 120 offhand. I can't remember exactly how much you start off with. And it's same as the bag merchant. You can buy more inventory space. I can't because I'm maxed out, but I believe it's F. If you hit the F key here, you will be able to buy more inventory space for your bank as well. And bank is actually global. So if you have 5 characters, you can put something in the bank and then go to a different character and pull it out of the bank off that character. So it's pretty nice the way the inventory system actually works in this game. All right, so I think that's probably enough. That's just the starting stuff that I like to do on a new character. I hope this was helpful. I know there is a lot, and there's a lot more stuff to actually go over, and this video turned out to be an hour. I was really only planning on maybe a 15-20 minute video, and as you can see, the game is quite complicated. There is quite a bit to it, and so a 20-minute video can easily turn into an hour and 5-minute video. Once again, like and subscribe if you like this video, and I'm trying to make some more in the future to help out newer players and people who just struggle with the game overall. So once again, thank you for watching and have a good day.